Throughout this course, I'm going to discuss quite a few theoretical concepts of VBA. But the major focus will be how to implement or how to put those theoretical concepts into practice. So major focus will be onto the practical application and the practical hands-on learning of various concepts of the VBA and advanced features of Microsoft Access. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how the VBA environment look like, and I'm also going to discuss the with statement. In fact, with the help of this with statement, I'm going to create my first program. Now, first of all, what is the with statement? With the help of a with statement, we can loop through all the methods and the properties of any object. For example, if this is a text box which contains some text here, with the help of a with statement, I can go through I can loop through all its methods and features, and I can change its size. At the same time, I can change, let's say, its text color, its back color, its appearance, and so many other things. So let's dive into the VBA environment, and let's see how we can create our first program. This is Microsoft Access database. It's the same database that we created in the last course, which was Introduction of Microsoft Access. So here are my all the objects here, the tables, the queries, the forms, the reports, and other stuff. To go to Visual Basic environment, right from here into the menu, click onto Database Tools. Under that, here is Visual Basic. You click Visual Basic, another environment will open onto your screen. Here at the top is the menu items. Got a little bit few icons over here. And this one is our Project Explorer, and we will write our code into this area. Now, if you have opened this window for the very first time, it might be slightly different on your screen compared to what you can see on my screen. But nothing to worry about. As we proceed along the course, I will explain quite a few things about the VBA. Let's go ahead and write our first program. If you're thinking that you need some kind of coding experience or pre-knowledge of any other language, well, it's not. You don't need any coding experience. We're going to start right from the scratch. Let's go ahead and see how we can build our program. Now, to build our program, what we do is, I'm just back into my Access environment here, and I'm going to open a form. Let's say when I click onto this button, International Sales, so it opened this specific form. How this was created, how these buttons were placed over here, a picture box and other stuff, this was all discussed into Introduction of Microsoft Access course. Okay, let's say I'm going to add a new button here. So to add the new button, right click and change it to Design View. And what I do here is I'm going to, let's say, collapse this part so that we can see everything on the screen. So here in the Design tab, let me take a command button from here. So these are all the tools available or the controls available within Microsoft Access. So here in the list, this is the fourth control. I just take a command button here and I just place it into the form. So this button wizard, it will come up onto the screen. Just cancel this one. We're not going to use it. Let me click into the button itself and I type the caption of it. Let's say I call it as close. And then make sure that the button is selected. Open the property sheet. In case the property sheet, let's say, is not open on your screen, nothing to worry about. Click and select the button. Go into the menu items and click Design. Into the design, right into the ribbon, you'll find here is the property sheet. So click the property sheet, it will be right here. Into the property sheet now, here you find quite a few tabs are there. So into the first tab, which is called the Format tab, the first property is called the Caption. So currently its property written is close. So that's fine. And one of the other property is we need to assign a name to this button. Every single control that we have in this form or on the face of a report, it must be, it should have its unique name. It cannot happen that two text boxes or two command buttons have the same name. No, two different kind of controls can have the same name, but two same kind of controls cannot have the same name. Two text boxes cannot have the same name. Two command buttons cannot have the same name. Two combo boxes can't have the same name. So I select the button and into the property sheet, click others, and the first property is called the name. So we need to assign it a name. Let's say this is my command button, so I just give it a name prefixing with CMD, stands for command button. It's not necessary. It's up to you if you feel comfortable. Let's say giving it a name directly, let's say close. I strongly recommend that you prefix the name of the control with the type of the control. So for example, this is a command button, so I can just give it a name as CMD close. So now I understand that whenever in my code is written CMD close, I understand that this in fact is a command button. Similarly, if it is a text box, I can just prefix it with TXT start date. If it's a combo box, I can prefix it with CBO. So select the command button, and now we need to write a little bit code behind this object. To write the code, click on to event. Events are basically those actions that is performed by the control itself. So for a command button, there is a list of events over here. When somebody click onto this command button, when somebody, let's say, when this command button get focus or lost focus, or when somebody double click onto this, there are two different events over here. Single click is a different event, and double click is a different event. So let's say I'm on single click, I'm going to write the code. To write the code now here, on click event, just beside this one, here is more option or ellipse button here. When you click ellipse, the three options are available here. You can add a macro for this control, you can write an expression, or you can write the code into the code builder. As far as first two are concerned, these two things have already been discussed into the introductory course of Microsoft Access. So this course, in fact, is a bit advanced course, and we are going to discuss in this course most of the things related to the VBA. So to write the code in VBA, select the code builder and click OK. So this is in fact is the Visual Basic for application environment. And here what we're going to do is we're going to write our code. But before I start writing the code, let me explain what are these two lines. We're going to write a sub procedure. And the purpose of this sub procedure is that whatever the code is written between the first line and the last line, that's what this procedure has to execute. And once that procedure is executed, then this sub procedure, it will be in silent mode. It will not perform anything more than what is written in between these two lines. Now, the code which is written over here, it will be private. What does it mean? Private means this code will be only and only executed when this event is triggered. When somebody click onto the close button, that's when this code or the code what we are going to write or the procedure we are going to write, that will be triggered or that will be executed. So what I do is I just give a few enters in between just to create a space, and my whole code will be between this line and this line. As far as these two parentheses are concerned, we will discuss this one in the later part of this code. Between these two parentheses, we can write a little bit more arguments, a little bit more requirements. We will see these things in more details later part of this course. Okay, now what I want to do is related to this command button. Let's say I want to work with few properties of this one. So one of the properties that I can control the size of this, I can control, let's say, the size of the font used over here. I can use a property to change its back color, its fore color, its pressed color, hover color. So quite a few things are there. So I want to see the list of the properties and the list of methods related to this specific button. So for this purpose, what we're going to do is we're going to use a with statement. Okay. Another very important thing now, if I go back to my form here, my form has two different things. Form itself is the main control. Every other object which is used here, that is in fact is the child object. Form itself is the mother object, and within this form we are using certain other child objects. This text box is the child object of this form. This combo box is the child object of this form. These command buttons are the child objects of this form. Now, if I want to write some code to a code for this command button or this text box or this combo box, I have to pass through the mother object. I cannot go directly into these objects and write the code. To execute the code, I have to run through or pass through the mother object. To access the list of the properties of any child object, we have to use the reference of the main object or the mother object. Now, the name of the mother object, if you're writing the code within the same form, you don't need to write the name of the form while writing the code. In fact, to give the reference of the main object, we use a keyword called ME. So let's go ahead and write our code. So our first program is now we are going to look into a few properties or methods which are related to this command button. So now my command button is into the main form or into the mother control. So to start with the mother control, you just need to start with the keyword called ME. To work with the with statement, we start with the keyword called with, followed by name of the object. And the name of the object is, which is into the mother form, followed by the keyword called me dot. When you say me, that's in fact is the mother control. And within that mother control, now there is a whole list of properties and methods and all the child object. And the name of the child object which I'm going to work on, the name of this specific command button. If you remember, we give it or we assign it name as CMD control. So what I'm going to say over here is that go to the main form, and within that there is a command button that name starts with CMD close. So here is CMD close, and then enter, couple of enter, and then this statement has to be closed with another keyword called end with. So this is in fact is the syntax of a with statement. With statement start with the keyword called with, followed by the name of the object, the mother object, followed by the name of the child object, and it has to end with the keyword called end with. Now in between over here, I can loop through all the properties and the list of the method related to this specific child control called CMD close. So I just indent my code over here. When I type now over here the period sign, so all the properties and the methods related to this close button are available over here. Let's say one of the properties is called the back color. So dot back color. So back color is equal to what? Back color, and after that type the is equal to sign and the value you want to assign to this property. So dot back color is equal to let's say that is VB red. I want it to be into red color. Then another one is let's say dot font size. So there is dot font size. That's the property. I want its font size to be let's say 15. Dot font style, let's say. So what we can do is let's change it to italic. So dot font italic. That is equal to true. Now font italic, it has two values. This property has two values only. Either you want to set it as italic, or you don't want to set it as italic. If you want to set it as italic, so property value should be true. If you don't want it to be, which is by default, then it has to be false. Okay, another property, let's say, is dot, let's call it as hover color. So HOV, hover color. Hover color is, let's say, I call it as VB blue. When I hover my mouse onto the CMD control, its color will change as VB blue. Another is, let's say, dot pressed color. So here is dot and pressed color. So here is dot pressed color property, and let's say I want it to be green. Right, so this is how you can use a with statement to loop through all the properties and the methods available for any specific control. Let's go ahead and see how this code works. So this is our first program that we wrote, and this program, in fact, or this sub procedure, it will be executed as and when somebody click onto the close button. So let's go back to our form, and let me change this form to the form view. So right click and change it to the form view. So here is my form, and see now what happens when I hover my mouse onto this close button. So when I hover my mouse onto the close button, right now nothing happens over here. Why is that so? Because our event was when somebody click onto it. So when I click, so the procedure or the program we wrote, that will be executed. So I click right now. You can see before I click here, the font size is pretty much 10 or 11, but once I click, it will become a little bit bigger and italic. So I just go ahead and click onto this. So now you can see its color is changed. It's italic. Its font size is pretty much 15. And now if I hover my mouse, it changed to blue. And if I press this one, so it becomes green. So this was our first program, where my purpose was just to show you the VBA environment and a little bit about its the coding syntax. So you might have noticed now that learning Visual Basic for application is very easy. It's extremely simple language, and with the help of this language now throughout this course, we will develop quite a few interesting things, and we will create automation. We'll also learn how to create little bit animation, and also how to work with the advanced features of Microsoft Access.